So what I'm talking about today is actually going to borrow from kind of two different, both kind of canonical books. Both can sound a little cheesy. Both I actually recommend checking out. I don't necessarily agree with every single 100% of both of these, but worth checking out. One is Seven Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey, classic in that kind of realm of productivity literature, and Love Languages by Gary Chapman. And what I'm borrowing from these is there's a short phrase that he did not necessarily invent, but is certainly popularized in Stephen Covey's Seven Habits, where he mentions love is a verb. That we sometimes think about love as being some sort of feeling underneath, and this is getting back to teams and productivity, I assure you. But it's actually in the actions that we take. It is the things that we do that show we love someone. Now, granted, I am, huge disclaimer here, not either trying to imply that just because you do something that shows love towards a person or a team, that therefore you are owed any sort of reciprocation. It's not how that works. Nor am I trying to suggest that, we don't be watchful about if there's a toxic or abusive or exploitive relationship of some sort, including with a team that might be trying to milk you for some sort of way that is not in your grand favor. I'm assuming adults will listen to this. You've got context. But the reason I raise these up, and in the case of love languages, one of the ways that we show our love is through acts of service. The reason I raise these up today is because sometimes we're on a team, at a company, on a nonprofit group, in a school project group, etc. And what can happen is we begin to get frustrated. We begin to get annoyed. We get to get unhappy with the group. And there's any number of reasons why this might happen. Some legitimate, some less legitimate. But it doesn't change that even if the feeling is frankly irrational in some cases, it still is there. It's still very real. It still has to be acknowledged. Still somehow has to be overcome. And here's where the reflex, the habit, the deeply instinctive way to handle that is to back off and figure, let it wreck itself. Is to just say, well, then I can't let this be my problem. I don't care, etc. Almost to punish it. And we frankly, we play some of these same games with ourselves. So even if you're solo, even if you're alone in a project, it can still happen where you feel kind of like punishing yourself because you're unhappy with results you've been getting, something you've been doing. And punishing yourselves in that kind of sense might take the form of denying yourself a walk that would help you clear your head, and not letting yourself go to bed on time, as silly as that sounds, the thing that some grown-ups do. Just these various little ways of denying yourself a break, exercise, mistreating yourself. And the same ways manifest either internally or towards a team where it's not going the way we wanted, and so our reaction is to pull back, is to deny these sort of things, as though that punishment is going to improve things. It doesn't. It never does. Instead, what happens is we, more often than not, can help to repair the situation, whether it's with a team or with ourselves, through small acts of service, through doing the kinds of giving which show that we're there, that we are going to be part of the solution, that we care. And those signals are every bit as powerful, maybe more powerful, more important in the scheme of things than the actual contributions or work done. This is the same sort of thing that actually helps the dynamic of teamwork go so much better for everyone involved in terms of motivation, in terms of stress, where even other people just occasionally doing a small contribution, making just the littlest addition to a project, can help give someone else a boost of morale from not feeling like they're alone on it, from not feeling like it's stagnant between when they touch it. If anything, it creates some momentum, makes it easier to jump in on, makes it easier to add on top of. And so if you are in a team setting, in a company environment, working alone even, and you find yourself feeling that there is a situation where you are mad at the project, at the people doing the project, even if the people is you, it can quite often help you recover to consciously be the bigger adult in the situation, take a meta view, and see that it's not that you need to wait until you feel better about it and then you can act. It's that you can lead by doing those positive actions, and that the positive feelings can follow, both because we have a tendency to, when we've done something for the group, when we've done something for the project, to feel good about that. That's its own positive association. And then secondarily, because that opens up, that creates the space for others to do the same, to see that it's not being given up on, to see that they're not alone in it, to see that there's hope, comes from, has to start somewhere, may as well be you as the person who is mature enough to recognize it. Now, again, granted, there are times, cases, situations where you might need to remove yourself from a team, taking that as a given. This is where you have not made that active choice, but you have decided that you are sticking with this team, sticking with this project, sticking with this company. In that case, when you feel the need to withdraw, my encouragement is to explore the possibility that can you lead your way back into repairing your feelings towards it, towards the project, towards the team, by chipping in, by lending a hand. And what you're going to often see is it's going to have a magnifying effect that's going to feed back into making it increasingly easy for you to continue to get right back into rhythm. But it has to start somewhere. May as well start with you. That's it for the day. Thanks for being here, and I will see y'all tomorrow.